All right, late on this, but let's do it. Let's jump in.
What's up, guys? Rip here. So, for the second time this week, we're going to be talking about David Jaffe, who overnight essentially has become a lol cow in the gaming sphere because of his unhinged videos blaming what he considers YouTube grifters for the failure of games like Dragon Age the Veilguard. Now,
Yeah.
this is someone who typically garnered a lot of respect from gamers due to his contributions of God of War 1 and 2, but recently, like I said, he's released a series of videos that have drawn, let's just say, a lot of criticism, beginning with this one right here,
Oh
where,
yeah, this is the video that started all. Yes, this video.
to sum it up, he essentially blames what he considers YouTube grifters for the failure of Dragon Age the Veilguard. You can see the like-dislike ratio. It is abysmal. What he's saying in this video is just a whole lot of unfounded cope. If you want a full breakdown of that, I reacted to his video a few days ago. I'll put a link to that in the description if you want to check it out. But like I said, essentially his whole point is these YouTube grifters, who essentially are anyone who disagrees with him ideologically, are the reason why games like Veilguard fail, because of the negative coverage of everything going on with the game and also anything surrounding it, like the development.
Yeah, I would say if it's just a good game, then it will obviously succeed. YouTubers can't really bring down a good game like that, so yeah.
Developers who made it and things they've said online, so on and so forth. However, it seems like he's continued his rampage, his quest to destroy his reputation amongst gamers, with a pair of videos released over the past 24 hours. And we're going to start with this one right here. We're only going to cover basically the conclusion of the video. I believe, based on context, he's reacting to a series of YouTubers who have been reacting to his previous video, and I think the main one he's reacting to here, because it's the largest one, is Asmongold's video reacting to that previous one. But let's just
No, I actually didn't know he reacted to Asmongold, but let's
hear
see.
his clarifications, and I want to keep his statements in mind as we go into the next video he uploaded. So let's give this a listen.
Let's just say that you and I, if you are one of those people, we don't agree on the motivations behind why you are seeing more progressive ideas in your media. A lot of people are into this whole conspiracy thing, and I'm just like, that's not what's happening, in my opinion. But yeah, you have a right not to like it. But if you're gonna be cruel about it online and talk about how mean or be mean, talk about mean things about the trans community or the LGBT community, and you can't really back it up, you're just kind of like, I want that in my game. Yeah, I think you're a fucking idiot. And
Okay, so a couple things to note about what he said. He's pretty much doubling down. The reason we only saw a small section of his video is because he just talks in circles
Good old double
for
down.
7 minutes. But I think that's the main takeaway, okay? Note the things he mentioned. Conspiracies, as well as being mean to people for really no reason other than the fact you have no legitimate argument. Keep that in mind as we react to his next video, where he goes after YouTuber Vera Dark. Now you can
I'm surprised about this because I didn't know they had any history before at all.
see this tweet here promoting the video. It says, "You don't have to like me and certainly don't have to agree with me, but please don't lie about what I say. And if you're going to try to attack me, please be smart enough to do so. Vera Dark," which of course is spelled wrong, but anyways. "Otherwise, I'll feel like I'm picking on a little kid." So you can see it's like a classic tactic of people who have no argument, right? They attack someone's intelligence. They just say, this person's an idiot. It's like picking on a child, and they have no idea what they're doing. They're stupid. But there's no argument actually presented because they don't have one to counter anything Veridark or any of the other critics are saying about his recent takes. Now, the video itself is quite unhinged. And I want to start with this section right here, where Veridark points out the fact.
So I actually thought he cut out some, but it might be the same side. Actually, I want to double check. Let me check. Because it's 4 minutes, 58 seconds. Oh no, it's actually the same. Okay. He didn't cut anything out.
That David has been very suspect about the events that followed the Trump assassination from earlier this summer.
do I think Trump's assassination was staged? I don't know. But I'll make a deal with you.
So verbatim, you just heard. So he thinks what happened back in July of this year was possibly staged. He's not sure if it was staged or not. And this was something he drew a lot of fire for back earlier this year in July, right after it happened.
Into a little bit. Come on, I'm not a conspiracy guy, but I mean, what with his head in plain view? I mean, if you believe that it's staged, then like that's a conspiracy. Pretty obviously, because everyone who says this can't really prove like how this would be possible, or like all the people you would need to collude to be in on this, including the shooter themselves, who I guess for some you have to assume that they didn't know that they were going to be killed by the Secret Service in the first place, and you know, how would you trick them into like not knowing that? And like, why wouldn't they just like, you know, try running away after like the first like 1 or 2 shots? You know, because obviously if he stayed there, then he would assume he would be killed. Like it just doesn't really make any sense.
Where he said, "At first I was horrified. This isn't near okay as much as I despite the man. But wait, his Secret Service just lets him stand there and do a little bit? Come on, man. I'm not a conspiracy guy, but I mean, what? With his effing head in plain view?" So he's saying he's not sure if this event was staged. Now let's remind ourselves what happened here, and especially if you're an international viewer who's not too...
But I haven't seen a good argument as to how he would stage this. Like how would it be possible?
familiar with what happened back in July during a rally.
Because we were to believe that, I mean, if I like really dig into it, we're to believe like, I guess Trump trusted a 20-year-old shooter to not shoot him in the head, to not kill him, because as far as we know, those were real bullets, since a person did die from it. So I guess he has to trust the person not to shoot him. The Secret Service, for some reason, I guess would accept this plan for no reason. Even though, like, I think the after effect of this, the aftermath is, I think, like, the head of the Secret Service or whatever, like, resigned. Like, what does the Secret Service get out of this, though? Like, what, did Trump pay them more, maybe? That's my only guess. Like, I mean, that's the only conspiracy brain theory, but, like... this would be bad for your resume. Because we saw, like, the head of the Secret Service and stuff getting grilled on it in court and stuff, and them saying that she should resign and, like, all of this. I think I did a video, like, reacting to it, so it doesn't really look good resume-wise, and I guess Trump has to bet on, like, the guy not killing him. And all for what, like, a few votes? Like, it just doesn't seem... No.
Donald Trump,
the plan is not solid.
Survived an assassination attempt where the shooter blew off a piece of his ear. People say he was within 1 millimeter of instantly game-ending his life. And then...
yeah, we're supposed to believe this guy has, like, dead shot level aim. Like to miss him by that, like, margin. I think it's more believable to me that the shooter is just not a good shot. Especially in a moment like this, like, the shooter, like, without any practice or anything, because I assume he didn't practice, like, at this exact location and stuff like that. Without any practice, he can purposely, like, miss him by, like, that margin of error. Especially in, like, a high-stress moment like this. And this is assuming the shooter even, like, has killed people before. It's... yeah.
An innocent bystander, a husband and father, was killed by stray bullets, and many say he was shielding his family from those bullets when he was hit. And then cross snipers game-ended the actual sniper. He is not sure if that was all staged, because after it all happened and the shooter was dispatched, Trump got up and said, "Fight, fight, fight." Now, this is a political act of violence.
And just all the elements, the working elements you would need to stage this is, like, insane. Like, you would need the Secret Service to be in on it. You would need the shooter to be in on it, and the shooter not to know that he's going to be killed. Um, and there's really no benefit for the Secret Service. It would just make them look incompetent that there's something like this happened, which that was addressed in court. It did make them look incompetent. So incompetent, in fact, that the like head of his security resigned after this. Trump would also have to believe that this 20-year-old guy who I don't think has a lot of shooting experience is like not going to accidentally kill him, and will intentionally make like intentionally shoot the bullet super close to him, but like purposely miss. And he's just like trusting this guy. He's like putting this guy's life in his hands. It just sounds, it's too insane.
But it's not a very political breakdown of events. That's literally just what happened. And David still, to this day, is not sure if it was staged or not. Trump derangement syndrome in his bubble he's living in has allowed him to become a unapologetic conspiracy theorist. These are the kind of people they would point out to the other side and say, those people are crazy. You're doing the same thing. You're running with conspiracy theories. It's insane. But that's...
Yeah, I'm not really on Eddie's side of political camp, but I just think the conspiracy theory, like, I want someone to walk me through, like, how this would be possible.
Just a jumping off point, right? So let's go back here and see a whole lot of projection about Vera Dark, and as we'll see, pretty much him just painting all of his political opponents onto her.
If you think that's beyond the pale and hard to believe, I don't know. Then you guys talking about, hell, going back to Barack Obama not being a citizen. Or...
Well, I mean, he said you guys. I don't think Vera has ever disclosed her political affiliation, though. So I don't know where he's getting this from.
You guys talking about kids going to school and coming home a different sex.
But it seems like he's just insinuating that anyone who doesn't believe that Trump planned the assassination is like must be a Republican themselves and must be pro-Trump or something.
And he comes home a few days later with an operation. The school decides.
And he says you guys because Vera, I believe, is talking about his own, like David Jaffe's own political opinion, while he's talking about the opinions of, like, I guess the party that he believes that she belongs to. So not her own thoughts about like Obama or anything like that, but just opinions he assumes that she has.
Do you really want to go toe-to-toe with which political party, Vera, offers up a trough of horse shit? Who's got the most horse shit? I mean, you're not educated enough. You're not bright enough, Vera, to talk to me.
But he didn't actually go after anything she actually said, though. Like any of her own thoughts. He's just assuming what her thoughts are based on what he assumes her political alignment is.
So you're going to see a common theme here where he tries to attack her intelligence and basically make her opinion sound like it's something no one should take seriously because he has no argument to present.
Yeah, this is a wild video. It's wild.
To what she's saying. But anyways, this whole idea that she's saying this or she's saying that, he is just projecting everything he disagrees with onto her, even though these are things she has never said. And she clarified this in a tweet. She has never let anyone know who she has voted for. She has never talked about this issue with Obama and his U.S. citizenship. She has never talked about this whole thing about you guys talking about kids going to school and coming out of different sex. These are all topics she has never talked about. He's just projecting everything he disagrees with onto anyone who dares to criticize him. And let's continue on. He will now start talking about grifting, and he wants to basically clarify his views on what a grifter is. And he's just going to bold-face lie about what he was talking about in his previous video and the perception he was giving when it came to what he believes a grifter is.
I've never defined grifter as that. A grifter is somebody who makes money off people by lying to them. That's what they do. A grifter is not someone who sits in front of a camera and talks about video games, Very Dark. You just don't know how to do this.
So he says that a grifter is someone who lies to their audience and basically tells them what they want to hear, even if internally they don't believe that. And that is what a grifter is. And that's what I said in my video, my first one reacting to his video. But that's not what he was saying in his previous video. He made it very clear throughout the entirety that a grifter was just someone who disagreed with him, someone who covered video games or anything to do with the industry and had different opinions. He just dismisses all of them as grifters, and now he's trying to say, whoa, 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 I only meant...
I think grifters are just like really a buzzword at this point. I think people just use it to, you know, on people who they don't like, who disagree with them, honestly. I can't remember the last time I've actually seen it used correctly.
The people lying. Well, first of all, you can't point to anyone who's lying, right? He tries to call Vara Dark a grifter while never proving that she's not in belief of anything she's saying. But this is from his previous video.
Yeah, I don't think he ever pointed out, because I believe I watched some of this video, and I don't remember him ever pointing out what she's actually lied about.
Video. This is what he was asked, is this a grifter? And this was his answer.
So the grifters who hate...
Also, I never see people say like the mainstream media is grifting at all. Especially since all of them were specifically omitting the fact that Chris Kindred, Sweet Baby Inc., the whole thing blew up because of Chris Kindred trying to get Kabrutus's Steam account removed. Because they were just mad that he made a group essentially pointing out which games they're working on. And essentially, like, all of the mainstream media omitted that fact purposely. And there was even, I believe one of the writers admitted that. Yeah, I know one of the writers actually admitted that they omitted it on purpose, even though they knew that information.
hate woke still stream the game and play...
But I never see them being called grifters at all.
...finish grifting how bad the game was. So yeah, they didn't like it, but played it for views and ad revenue equals a grift, yeah. Avowed...
He says someone playing a game to completion even though they don't like it is grifting. No, that is not grifting. That's doing your research and...
Yeah, I mean, doesn't that make the opinion more valuable since they played the game and are trying to see if they actually, you know, like it or not?
Giving a more honest review. If you want to go after a game and criticize it, wouldn't we want people playing through the entirety of the game? How is that grifting just because you dislike it? At least you're giving it a chance at that point,
But yeah, let me skip ahead. I don't want to do this whole...
is reducing Vara Dark, a woman, to simply her appearance.
Oh yeah, this was actually... Wait, let me go back.
...in that chair, Vera, because of your hair and your face and your gender.
I was very surprised that he said this to Vara Dark of all people. Because Vara Dark, she has like no... She doesn't sexualize herself at all. She just shows her face. Like, the content she produces is no different than what any ordinary woman would produce. If they're not like trying to sexualize themselves. Like it would be no different. Like I wonder what his version of how a woman would produce content without you know, seemingly gaining it from their like looks. Yeah, from their looks.
And that's fine.
And like being a woman. Like what would that look like in his world? Because Bear, all she does is she doesn't show cleavage or anything like that. She, you know, doesn't have a link to like an OnlyFans or like some sexy Instagram or something like that. And also, the expression from the community doesn't really imply that that is the case, that people watch her because they are essentially gooners. Because, for example, like Pokemon, you could say like some people watch her because they're gooners because the expression in her the expression online about her in some videos are like, you know, her bending over all the time or anything like that. But there's nothing like that for Vera, so like there's definitely no evidence of this.
By the way, there's no.
Do you see what he's doing there? He's basically implying the only reason anyone's checking out her content is because of her looks. And that's pretty much it. So the guy who's so progressive is reducing Vera Dark, a woman, to simply her appearance. And
Yeah, that was a wild statement. I wouldn't believe it until I saw it that he would say something like
her
that.
opinion just doesn't matter. Apparently everyone is there
To
just
goon.
for the way that she looks.
We all gooning.
No problem with that. I don't deny anyone making money and building an audience off, you know, the things that they've got. But let's be clear. So far, my encounters with you online, you are kind of you're a mental lightweight. And that's fine. People
It's so ridiculous. Again, he hears a woman with an opinion and he's just like, well, you're a mental lightweight because I disagree with you. Like,
Yeah. Man.
this guy's so woke, he's becoming a misogynist. I mean, many such cases, by the way, but why do they do this, right? Why do they label all their ideological opponents as grifters, as someone who's only being paid attention to because of their looks, or mental lightweights, or all these things, as he's saying? Well, it's to dehumanize you and basically make it so nobody wants to validate your opinion. They don't even want to check out your opinion because they have these negative views going into it. This guy has no legitimate argument to any point she is making, so he just insults her. It's funny because a lot of the people who are woke in the gaming industry, they constantly talk about YouTubers who criticize them. They say, oh, they're so mean. They're always using these insults and blah, 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 blah. But this is what they do. They have no legitimate arguments to anything. When people point out valid criticisms of the industry, the only response they have is to insult them. That's the only thing they have, and it's pathetic, and it's...
Yeah, so I'm just surprised because like he's the only one person who's brought up Vera's looks to like this degree, you know?
It's really obvious. They have no real arguments. They just have insults at this point.
people have all kinds
He's the ultimate Vera gooner.
of, like, you know what I'm bad at, Vera? I'm bad at math, man. If I was in, like, you know, NASA and they were like, oh shit, the space station's gonna
But yeah, he basically says yeah, I remember watching. He says like she's like a spider and like she has like the mental capacity of a spider or something like that he killed.
explode. Everybody, we can only solve this by looking at the blueprints and the math and the, you know.
Not to sound like a Vera Glazer, but I mean, the reason I would say Vera's successful is because, you know, consistent uploads, was it like 2 to 3 videos a day, and consistent streams. I would say a lot of it is probably consistency. And I assume people watch her to be informed on stuff in the gaming industry, especially in like an anti-woke context. Like I'm sure a lot of people like the same things she likes, like Stellar Blade and stuff like that, you know. So that's what I would say.
Geometry, I don't fucking know. Jaffe, get in here. Within 5 minutes, they'd be like, Jaffe, go get the coffee. It's not for you. That's okay.
First of all, who are you to tell anybody what they're allowed to do?
But yeah, I think probably covered all the bases by now. And I see David Jaffe video. And it seems like the war is over essentially now. Like Vera made 2 or 3 videos on him, and like he made 2 or 3 videos concerning her and like other people he calls grifters. So yeah, I think the saga is over. Everyone's got their views. I think Vera went off with the bag because I think her video on him almost got like 100,000 views or something like that, which is Really good. So yeah, peace. Oh, Jesus, video was long. Yeah, I'm done.